Hi and welcome. Today I have a art card and I start with a 3x4 piece of Bristol smooth paper, and I'm going to be doing some embossing. I'm using a Tim Holtz stencil, and I had originally planned to put a covering of saltwater taffy as the base. So I am using saltwater taffy as my media to which I want the embossing powder to stick. Embossing powder will stick to anything that is kind of wet. So you can definitely use it through the stencil to do that. And I used the base coat because I thought if any didn't get covered, it would be the same as the background and all is good. However, I ended up using tattered rose as my background, but you can't tell. I mean, it all got covered with the gold embossing, so no problems. I'm going to cover the entire card and then add the gold embossing powder to all the ink on the card. Made a little mess on my mat. And I'm going to now use my heat tool and emboss it. Love gold embossing. So I'm going to be covering the background with tattered rose. The flower's my focal image, so I'm using the colors in the flower. And the best match was tattered rose, but there is a darker pink. And so I do some worn lipstick right around the edges. Just coming in a little bit. But first, tattered rose across the whole back. Bristol Smooth is my favorite medium because it just blends so smoothly. And that and the gold embossing are available in my Amazon shop. It is no extra cost for you, but I make a little commission off of it. And when I prep my pieces, I leave like a stem undone. In this case, the background was like, oh gosh, fussy cut that. Well, why don't I just ink it the color of the background? Sure, you're not going to see the stencil or the gold embossing through it, but I'll sacrifice that to not have to fussy cut that. All my digital items are, at current anyways, purchased off of Etsy, and I print them on 90-pound white cardstock. So when I'm doing it around the edge, I'm kind of going off the page to go on, just so I don't get any obvious circles or rings from the blending tool. And now I'm going to add just a little touch of vintage photo around the very tight edge. Mainly so I don't have any white edges and that looks like there's an end to the card. Now I have these collage papers from Tim Holtz. It's similar to the ones you get in the tube that are rolled up, a big long rolling sheet, but these are individual sheets. I think there's 30 sheets in here. I think that's what it said. And so you can pick out which one and just take pieces of different designs. So I'm just kind of going through and seeing what I want to add to this piece. And that one coming up is the one that I'm going to use. And I didn't want to just have a square or a rectangle rip of one. So I'm using my round punch. It's a 2-inch punch. And I don't necessarily want it to cut it. It does a little bit, but I really want it to give me the shape that I want. And then I'll use my water brush to finish removing it from the sheet. Because if you punch, you're going to have a straight edge. If you have a straight edge, you're going to see it. So see, it did punch a little bit of it, but mainly I just want to use it as my just my shape. You could also just take something round and trace it and do it that way as well. But now I have a round piece of collage tissue. And this one edge here just to me looked a little too perfect, and I thought you'd see it too much. So I just add a little bit more water with my brush and just slightly kind of tear off some of the edge. Now this is going to be the edge toward the flower, so I probably could have left it, but you never know what might peek through. Now to apply it, I'm going to use Collage Medium down first and then Collage Medium on top. One's to adhere it and one's to seal it. That kind of makes it sound like I'm using two separate products, but no, it's the same thing. One application of it will adhere it, and then another application seals the whole deal. And upcoming here, I'm going to be using a tool that's called a catalyst. And I use it to help smooth out any edges, particularly in these tissue papers. And I love this guy. He's not expensive at all. And I use him all the time because the thing I'm putting it down with, it's silicone and the edges get all ripped up. But this catalyst, it's not gonna do that. It is like a sturdy guy, sturdy but yet pliable. So I don't know what it's made out of, but maybe a stiffer silicone. I don't know, but it's available in my Amazon shop if you want to look for it. So I had to wait for that to dry. And now I'm going to start my collage. This piece really is a pretty simple piece. And I think sometimes you need pieces that are just, I don't want to say easy, but just not real involved. But yet look, I mean, because I think it's got a really elegant look. It'd be great for a card, and you know, because it doesn't take you all afternoon to make it, and it looks really elegant, I think. So I'm gonna put that down, and I didn't glue a couple of the lower leaves because I want the stem to come down. Oh, maybe I haven't even glued it yet. I was talking and wasn't watching what I was doing. Okay, now I'm going to add the glue. But I won't add to a couple of the leaves, one that my finger's on, because I don't want it to be glued to the background. I want it to be glued to the ephemera I'm going to put down. So it's kind of tricky sometimes because I want the stem to go behind my other pieces, but I want those two leaves to go in front. So you just got to be aware of what you're doing, and maybe you don't put glue on a couple things right away and glue it after. So the number strip is exactly that. It's a number strip from Tim Holtz. And the number 7 is a digital product. I'll have all the digital links in the description. And that is it. If you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to do that. If you liked this piece, give me a thumbs up or send me a comment. And either way, I have some final pictures coming up. And I hope you have an awesome day. And I'll see you next time.